Assalamualaikum and a very good day. So, this is your lecturer, Dr. Rumaiza. So, as promised, I will provide you with the teaching video on Introduction to Development. So, as I mentioned last week, with me, you are no longer the builder. So, with me, you are the developer. So prior to know what are the tasks, what are the responsibility of a developer, and how does the task and responsibility of a developer differentiate from a builder or a contractor, we will look into some information on the development per se. Okay, so when you look at Town and Country Act 1976, or we call it Act 172, yeah, uh, it defined development as the carrying out of building, engineering, mining, industrial, or any other operations in, on, over, or under land, or making any material uh, in the use of any building, or to subdivide or amalgamate the land. These are actually defined as development. So if we can simplify, yeah, so development relates to the operational work, the material change of use, and also aspects in the land administration. So operational works will include building, engineering, earthwork, mining, industrial, which mean whatever activities, yeah. And then should we change the use of the material physically, substantially, or irrelevant? And also if we conduct any land administration activities such as conversion of use of the land, the change of condition of the land, subdivision, amalgamation, or partitioning the land. So these are includes in the definition of development. Yeah, development is not only you build something new, not necessarily, right? And then this development, we know that development is important. All right. So I used to term development from zero to hero. All right. Which means that the first one, facilities, from zero to hero, which means that with development, okay, so the provision of social services and amenities is covered under facilities. So with development, we develop new facilities. So why do we need to develop facilities? So basically for the attainment of better quality of life, national integration, and also unity. So better quality of life, for example, previously our ancestors lived in a hut, and then the generation after them have more knowledge on developing a better home. So they started to have timber houses, and then we improve some more. All right, so we have our now terrace houses, bungalow houses made from concrete. All right, so which means that having the facility will help to achieve better quality of life. Other than that, we have schools, yeah, we have hospitals, we have and many other facilities that ensure the unity of the committee. For example, more example like mosque, or any what we call it like church, those are the facility developed for unity. And for national integration, we have roads, we have networks of roads, yeah, and then we have the um, train, we have now MRT, LRT. Those facilities are developed to ensure the national integration. Having those facilities, it will actually improve the economy. So development is actually the major potential for expanding construction industry. How? By generating jobs. So when construction industry uh, generate jobs, so it will contribute to capital formation. All right, and I think you have learned in relation to how construction industry contribute to the national economy, because construction industry will actually generate or cause activities to generate in other industry. So you have learned this in I think semester 4 or semester 3 with the budgetary. So you know that construction industry creates a chain reaction, producing a chain of economic activities from supplier, contractor, and then the end user. All these stakeholders will actually boost once the development improved. All right, so when we have the facility, when we have good economy, development will improve the image of a country. So having this development, so many developments were actually being the indicator. So indicator here, we call it barometer, that indicates the nation's economic condition. All right. So brisk construction, a lot of construction activity shows that the economy is booming. Yeah, sluggish construction or very slow construction, means that the economy is depressing. So the well-being of a country is actually reflected in its people enjoying a certain standard of living. So if we see a country with a lot of development, so we know that that country has or show a good image. Why does this image important? So it is important for the external investor to actually get interested in investing in our country. Okay, that's why development is important. So development consists of, just now, operation, activity that changes the material or change in the um, condition of the land. It brings a lot of importance in terms of facilities, in terms of economy, and now we move to who are the developer. Technically, developer is an entrepreneur, okay, usahawan, businessman, who provides own organization and capital required to complete the building and expects profit in return. Doktor, contractor pun expect profit as a return juga. Alright, but okay, contractor's profit is already determined. For example, as a rule of thumb, okay, if you are a contractor and you manage to secure projects in certain amount, okay, rule of thumb, a contractor usually will make profit around 20 to 30%. Okay, however, all right, being a developer, you might um, be able to capture or uh, have profit double or triple or 300% from the cost that you bring out from your pocket. Okay, why? When you are able to actually find a good area, and when you conduct your feasibility study, it shows that the area is feasible and viable to be developed. Besides, developer purchase a tract of land, determine the marketing of the property, develop the building program and design, obtain necessary public approval and financing, build the structure, rent out, manage, and ultimately sell it. So it starts off with the land. So if you were to have a very strategic area, yeah, and you have a very good marketing strategy, yeah, your profit might goes beyond your expectation. Yeah, don't be surprised if when we conduct our um, project, yeah, your development project assignment, okay, when you conduct your feasibility study, when you conduct your market study, in the end you see that, oh wow, our expected or potential profit is about 200%. Yeah, I am not surprised. Yeah? It depends on the location. Okay, so as for our assignment, yeah, despite developer can actually rent out, manage, yeah, but I would say in our case, we will just plan to sell everything. All right, so our terrace house, we developed it, we want to sell it. We don't want to manage, we don't want to rent, yeah, we just want to sell. All right, so developer can be either public sector or private sector. So public sector includes the government, the federal government, the state government, and the statutory body, where they provide facilities for the public, whereby private sector, um, for example, the developer, yeah, MK Land, Setia, what else? Sunway, yeah. So those are the big shots in development. And then some of the owners, for example, TNB or Petronas, or maybe the investor, which is the bank or KWSP, which actually develop to generate highest profit. So you would be the private sector developer now. So you are the developer here, yeah, like MK Land, like SP Setia, and like Sunway. Alright. And I would like to attract your attention. Developers should be differentiated from contractors, although the developer may act as contractors as well. So this is stipulated in Royal Malaysian Custom Department document. The reason being is that there are differences in terms of taxation between developers and contractors. That's why if you were to observe, for example, Sunway, yeah, Sunway Group, okay, they are actually the developer. However, they have subsidiaries, which is the Sunway Construction. This is to ensure that they differentiate clearly the developer and the contractor, because the scope of work between the two are also different. All right, so these are some of the further definition on developer. So property developer is a professional in the sector of property development, also known as real estate development. So this developer develop an area to create positive legacy for community to live well and thrive. So this relate to um, uh, better life, or what we call it, better quality of life. All right, and responsibility of a property developer varies. All right, but some of the responsibility includes purchasing the land, signing leases, improve and renovating existing building, and sell the properties. Okay, so these are some of the property developer listed, such as EcoWorld, Gamuda, IJM, IOI, SP Setia, and so on. Alright, so this is very important. Okay, you need to know what are the functions of a developer. And actually, I have mapped the function of a developer with the stages or the process in the project development. For example, right, the first one, to determine the development potential. Okay, the keyword would be potential. Okay, so when or how can we determine the potential? By inception and feasibility study stage. And then when you already identify, oh, this area have potential based on your feasibility study and inception, as a developer, we will want to acquire the site. So when we want to acquire the site, we will actually go through the land matters. Okay, land matters includes land acquisition, and under land acquisition, we may or may not need to do conversion, subdivision, or amalgamation, and then the changes of the change of the type of the land use. Yeah, so this is land matter. So when we manage to acquire the site, we need to acquire the development approval. Okay. So actually at each phase, there are various approvals to be acquired. So this one, we need to follow what are the authorities' requirement. Alright. When we got the approval, we need to find or arrange for the money, finance. Okay, so this one, there are various ways. Yeah, maybe you wanna borrow from the bank, or maybe you wanna JV with some investors. Yeah, so there are various ways. Yeah, and then when you manage to secure finance, you must want to ensure the project is built. So when we come to build, it relates to construction and constructability. So constructions mean you need to do the construction management, you need to find a good contractor, you need to do the tender, you need to choose your procurement method and what kind of contract that you will use. Yeah, so this is where, as a developer, you need to be able to manage. Yeah, and last but not least, when you have ensured that the project is built, so as a developer, we must arrange the sale or rental of development. Yeah, so this, how do we do it? By sales and marketing strategy. Yeah, so this is another detailed information in relation to the development project. All right, to implement a housing development project, home builders should perform the following: acquire land, all right, alter the land use to suit the intended purpose, integrate resources required for the project, interpret the demand and supply of the market, provide housing units, and finally sell the completed house. Right? So not only that, yeah, actual housing project must also incorporate the provision of various prescribed facilities and amenities, as well as safeguard the environment. Alright, so which means that we are not going to only build the house. So we need to actually incorporate various prescribed facility and amenities, for example, access roads, and then water sources, and then electricity, and then maybe you want to provide security, yeah, whichever has been stipulated. Okay, and other than that, during construction or post-construction, we must make sure that our development is actually environment friendly, that will not damage the environment. Right. So most critical supporting factor for housing development are finance, land, building material, and also consultancy services. Right. So I would only pick up the most important things here as housing developer. So housing developer will convert paper idea into housing product. All right. So in terms of size, small scale have between 5 to 49 houses, medium scale 50 to 200, large scale more than 200 units for each project. All right. So you must understand, you are a developer when you develop more than 4 units of houses. Okay, so whoever develop less than 4 unit of house, and also maybe do transaction of 4 or fewer lots of land, they are not considered as housing developer. So they are known as micro housing developer. All right. So being the housing developer, you must obtain license, from Ministry of Housing and Local Government, or now it is known as Ministry of Urban Wellbeing, Housing and Local Government, and it is encouraged to register as the member of REHDA. So why is it so important to identify that you are a housing developer? Because housing developer must obtain license. Like when you want to drive, you need to obtain driving certified driving license prior to you are able to drive on the road. Okay, and this is actually the characteristic or the condition uh, for the licensing of housing developer. So why do I need to show you this? Basically, this explain the characteristic of a developer where you might want to consider when you produce your company profile. All right. First and foremost, your paid up capital must be not less than 250,000. Okay. However, if you are to actually developing a project which is more than 1 million ringgit, I believe that your paid up capital must be more than 250,000. Alright, so deposit of not less than 200,000 with the controller. Controller is KPKT just now, so you need to put deposit. And then the applicant of the housing developer has not been convicted of an offence involving fraud. Tak pernah kena tangkap atau tak pernah dijatuhkan hukuman kerana menipu. Applicant is not bankrupt, tidak bankruptcy, and applicant has not been convicted for an offence under the Act and fine exceeding 10,000 or imprisonment. Tak pernah dijatuhkan hukuman denda lebih dari 10,000 dan tidak pernah dipenjarakan. Alright, and applicant is not a director or licensed housing developer which has been wound out by a court. Okay, ini maknanya if previously Rumaiza has uh, uh, gotten a license as a developer with Rumaiza Development, but however Rumaiza failed to actually completed the development project, and she has been convicted or wound out by a court, and then after 5 years Rumaiza come again to open a developer company named Rumaiza 2 Development. So it cannot happen. Alright, so now the housing developer will be looked, or the company, the developer company, the director will be paid attention to. So there is no way a failed developer can open or can have another developer company. Okay. Previously, I mean, it's quite a long time ago. We have situation where a failed developer can have another company under his name and fail again. So now, I mean, not really now, it has been more than 10 years now. Yeah. So it couldn't happen. Yeah. And then these are some of the information where housing developer is any person, yeah, by whatever name described, engage or carries or undertake or cause to be undertaken a housing development. And the housing development is actually, we call it a housing development when we construct more than 4 units of housing accommodation or transaction of selling more than 4 lots of land or building. All right. So if it's less than 4, it is not considered as development. So the project will not obligated to follow all these rules and regulation under the Act 172. Okay, so housing accommodation is actually a building which is wholly or principally constructed intended for human habitation. So kalau reban ayam, dia bukan housing accommodation. Alright, so housing developer, housing development, and housing accommodation has certain act, you know, that control the development. Okay, and then these are the category of projects. Yeah, residential, institutional, recreational, industrial, infrastructure, and also social. So since 2007, yeah, there are various changes has been made in the property industry so that the industry be more efficient. All right. Um, Previously, yeah, property industry is well known with the issue of delay. All right, delay in getting approval, delay in construction, and then with that we have a lot of other problems together with it. So since 2007, there are various initiatives has been taken to improve the industry. All right. So firstly, yeah, the most important one would be to reduce the processing time. All right. For this, yeah, one-stop center was introduced, and certificate of fitness for operation has been changed to certificate of completion and compliance. All right. This is to actually reduce the processing time. Other than that, to boost the development sector, the housing development sector, all right, for developer that able to develop through build then sell method can waive the license deposit. As I mentioned to you just now, as a developer, you need to put minimum of 200,000 license deposit to the controller. So if you are a developer who are able to do development based on build then sell, you build first, then only you ask people to buy, so you can waive the license deposit. Besides, previously we have a lot of low cost housing project. Yeah. uh, and for that there are not many options for people to purchase. Therefore, from 2007, the quota from low has been increased to medium cost, so that the option would be a lot of people can purchase houses. Therefore, the housing development sector will improve. Other than that, it has been also introduced during 2007, which is the Building and Common Property Act, especially for multi-story building. whereby they have their joint management body or management corporation who will actually maintain the common property in that area. Thus, certain maintenance fee need to be paid by the occupants. So these are some of the examples. Initiative to be has been taken to improve the property. In 2016, yeah, again to boost the housing development sector, yeah. So the Prime Minister then encouraged private developer to build houses costing below 300,000. Um, they will actually include uh, the retention of deposit of 200,000 or 3% of the estimated cost currently can be waived. All right, which means that every private developer, yeah, who actually develop maybe a high-end development, they need to actually provide some percentage of development less than 300,000. This is to ensure that what we call it rumah mampu milik by the community. Alright, so previously from low to medium cost, and then in 2016 we have rumah mampu milik, ataupun there are various initiative, Prima, rumah penjawat awam, rumah pertamaku, yeah. So there are various effort to actually wanting to assist the people to purchase their house. Okay, and besides that, there are various amendment to the Housing Development Act 1966, yeah, as of 2007, whereby this list, yeah, actually includes some important items, which I will only select a few. You can read the rest. Yeah. So one example is the interpretation of the housing developer. Yeah. So it has been extended not only to the housing developer per se. If the liquidator or the liquidator for the housing developer will also considered as housing developer. For example, there is one project has been abandoned, and then came in Affin Bank, for example, right? So when Affin Bank provide the financial assistance, which means that they are the liquidator, so they are also considered as the developer. Yeah. And then other than that, if previously the developer need to put deposit of 200,000, now the deposit has been increased to 3% of the estimated construction cost. This is the reason being is that it wants to ensure that only developers with strong financial position can be in the development industry. Okay, and then another amendment would be section 7B, yeah, enable legal action to be taken against the developer, yeah, despite the license has expired. So which means that they keep the record of this developer, yeah, even so that the offense has been identified after the license has expired, the developer will still be responsible. Yeah. Other than that, in the amendment of Section 8A, entitle a house buyer to terminate the sale and purchase agreement at any time if the developer refuse to carry out or delay the work for continuous period of 6 months. So this is the reason why we no longer see on TV people grieve. Oh, the house, only we can see the column. The house, the development site is now full of grass and whatnot. Yeah. So now the home buyer can actually terminate the sale and purchase agreement if the developer did not um, carry their work in the period of 6 months. Yeah. And then other than that, section 16N expand the jurisdiction of the Tribunal of Home Buyer Claims to enable the home buyer to claim damages. Yeah. So this I can see there is one posting by a lecturer where um, they actually claim during the DLP, yeah, that the house purchase is not up to the level of the price they paid for the home. For example, the house cost them 500,000, but because of so many defects, yeah, so they filed their application to the tribunal, and tribunal managed to collect the proof that the developer did not provide the quality of a 500,000 house. Therefore, on top of the corrective measure or um, uh, the developer come and fix the damages, they have to pay certain amount of money as apa tu as due to the fact that the quality was not up to the level the buyer paid. And you can see also the amendment has increased the rate of fine, and also other than that, um, they have increased or imposed imprisonment as well to apa tu, if there is any fault by the developer. Okay, so this is actually the phase of the development, project development. So it started off with inception and feasibility. Okay, inception and feasibility. What will happen during this stage? So you will need to identify the project objective, resolve land issue, set up user requirement, conduct feasibility study, and then set up organization and management structure. And these are the stakeholders who will be involved in that phase. All right. Moving on, we will have the design phase. Yeah. These are the activities and these are the stakeholders. And as I mentioned earlier, approvals will actually be at every stage. All right. But I need to mention that there are approvals to be applied during the project development. And then having said that, we need to conduct tendering, all right, to choose the best contractor, and then to construct or do the physical work, and later handover and maintenance, and it will stop at final account and project closure. Okay. So I have actually describe or figurate the process whereby we include sales and marketing and also finance, yeah, which means that once we have conducted the inception and feasibility study, as a developer we can start to look for financial assistance, right? And once the developer has got the approval for the building plan approval, yeah, despite I said just now approval can be in feasibility, in design, in tender, in construction, and also during handover and maintenance. But once you get the building plan approval, sales and marketing team can start to do their work. Alright. So these are some of the detailed activities at each stages. And again, this is something that I get from a website. Yeah, it shows that we need to conduct the land matters, liaise with the consultants, yeah, getting approvals, construction, and then when finished, yeah, after the DLP, we will give a vacant possession, yeah, and then last but not least, we will close the project, yeah, with final account. Okay, I think that is for the introduction of development, by which we have seen the what is the meaning of development, and then why development important, what are the functions of a developer, who is the developer, and also the various phases in the project development process. Alright, so I hope this video help you in further understanding in relation to the introduction of development. Yeah, for that, thank you.